Is that Jackie right there, Kelly?
Yes, we're live. Yeah. So whenever you guys are ready, we're live.
All right.
Welcome. We are at the grand opening for Rebekah's Haven's new facility at 703 Phillips Avenue. We're joined today by Pastor Tom Clapsaddle, who's going to talk a little bit about Rebekah's Haven and Toledo Gospel Rescue Mission and the folks who helped us to get Rebekah's Haven built.
Awesome. Hey, there's a lot of folks. I have to take this down. I'm sorry. Keep 6 feet away from me. But this has been a long way today. We've got almost 3 years here putting this facility together. And if you stick around and wait, you'll get a chance to take a virtual tour, and I'm sure that you'll be pleasantly surprised at what we've done here. This was the old Summit Academy charter school, and we've renovated this. And the neat thing is renovation costs money. And imagine, here's the list of all the donors that have helped us to do the facility. On this front page alone, we've got donors that have given $30,000, $20,000, $12,000. It's so neat, but it's also the donors that gave the $25 and the $50 and the $75 and the $100 that have helped us to pull this facility off, to build this facility debt-free. And we're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of $750,000, and it's debt-free. The day, today when we cut the ribbon, there will be no debt here. And it's just so exciting what God has done and what we've been able to do over the past couple of years. A lot of things. It was a tough road. We struggled with permits and with the city and all of that stuff. But you know, every time we get down, God would send somebody to help us to get back up. And so it's exciting to know that when we open the doors, over 21 ladies with their small children will be able to come and to find safe haven and to help them to bring themselves back into a home situation. It's so neat that we can do this, and the ladies, when they come in, it's free. We just say, hey, come on in, we're going to help you to get back to doing what you need to do. And I want to introduce, well, let me just, there were several churches and people that have given, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars. Calvary Church, SMB Construction, Integrity Commercial, Alpha and Omega Construction. What a great bunch of people just have given. Modern Woodsman, Emmanuel Mennonite, just to name a few. The list is so long. And then we had the Union Local 8 IBEW that came in and did all the electrical for us and supplied most of the material. And it's been a real blessing. And you know, I can't, there's so many people to thank. It's almost impossible. We could be here for days and days. But I just want to let everyone know that we are so thankful that you have joined with us to see these moms and these small children see that they're taken care of. And you know, with God's help, we're going to continue here. Toledo Gospel Rescue Mission started in 1955, same year I was born. I haven't been here since then, but I've been here the last 20 years, and a lot of people will disagree with that. Been here the last 20 years, and the person behind the camera over there is Kelly Giannis. Come around here, say hey, wave, say hey. Now Kelly will be on December 31st. Kelly will be taking over as executive director, and I've got a new title. It's called Maintenance Man, and I'll be sticking around to help in any way, shape, or form that I can. I can do, but God has given us this opportunity to reach out and to touch and to minister and to help those women and those little ones that come our way. In the process of building this, we've turned away many ladies, and that's my heartache. But you know what? God is God is so good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
God is so good.
Amen.
That today He'll begin to heal that heartache.
Absolutely.
I can't thank Him enough. Let me bring in Jackie. What is your last name?
Franco.
I'm sorry.
Franco.
Jackie Franco. Yeah, you know, so they say when you retire, there's Alzheimer's and then there's Alzheimer's. And sometimes I get hit with sometimers, and so, but this is Jackie. She's been here for how long now? 3 years? 5 years? Wow, time flies by. Flies when you
That's
have-
Alzheimer's, all right.
Yeah, have fun. But it's so cool that Jackie has been involved helping the ladies back at our original Rebekah's Haven. We already have a home that houses up to 7 moms, and since 2004 we've helped a lot of ladies with their small children. Exact count, but I know it's in the hundreds. We've helped them to get back on their feet, and so it's neat that we can do that. And I just want to introduce Jackie. Jackie will be coming over here and taking the reins, and we'll be helping a lot of folks. So Jackie Franco.
Hi, good to have you guys here. Thank you for coming out, and all who are watching virtually. As you know, Rebekah's Haven is a women's facility with small children, women with small children, from ages newborn to 10 years old. Here we help them with their basic needs and to get out and move on with life, and we have chapel, from every day, 6:30 to 7:30, and then we will be having a children's chaplain, hopefully, for good. We really need that, and we're just thankful for everyone that helps, that puts their hand in, whether you donate or you come and help physically. It means a lot to us, to know that there's people out there that care for these women, that love them. They come to me all the time, and tell me, I didn't know there were people out there like this that, could love the unseen. And I was like, well, that's the hands and feet of God.
Yes.
So I just thank you guys for coming out and helping us or whatever, and if you know anyone that would like to volunteer, we are desperate need of volunteers in every area.
Volunteers are what makes this run.
Yes, yes.
I mean, we could not pay the staff. We could not pay those people that put their boots on the ground and hands and feet. And in 65 years, that's what has kept Toledo Gospel Rescue Mission in ministry, is just saying, hey, come on and open your arms and come and help and mentor and take care of ladies, the men, women, children. And it's been a neat thing.
Yeah, and I met a lady the other day. She said she volunteered with helping people for 8 years, and I was like, your heart really has to be in it to be a volunteer, or just to be in something like this in a ministry. You have to give it your all. The only way you can do that is with God's love, with the love of God in you. To be able to love people back into knowing who they are, their identity.
Yes.
These women come in broken. We've all been there before. I know I have. And then to restore these women, to see them to come back to know who they are, their true identity. It's just, it's beautiful. Beautiful enough to make you cry.
And the neat part is I've been a children's pastor since 1977 in the inner city, and it's to see those little ones, those little children. I can't imagine. I can't fathom what it's like to be homeless and be a child. And so when they come in with that big smile on their face, and they, or they've got that new toy, everyone that comes in gets a teddy bear. And so to see that big smile of that child, knowing that it's being taken care of, that they can be just feel that sense of being safe. And that's what Rebekah's Haven's all about. And so we just everything we do, everything that you do for the Gospel Rescue Mission, it's so important. And you have a lady that's
Yes,
gonna
Amber.
share.
You wanna come in? This is Amber, everyone.
I want to thank you for all the donations and everything for the kids and all the moms that stay there. We really greatly appreciate it. This is actually my second time coming back because I had to seek emergency shelter, and I am truly grateful for everything. And I look forward to actually getting to volunteer and help with this ministry. So thank you.
Cool.
Amber wants to volunteer once she gets housed. She came back for an emergency shelter for a situation that she was into. So in order for her to be able to be housed again, she had to go into a shelter again for it to be immediate. So she came back to Rebekah's Haven because she was there once before and she liked it. She liked the atmosphere. So she came back to Rebekah's Haven, and she will be getting her house within the next 30 days. So she got rapid rehousing because of her situation.
We also have the men's shelter over on 20th and Jefferson, and Our Lady shelter is currently on 20th Street, and so it's neat how God has opened up the doors for us to come over here and to enlarge the ministry. And if it wasn't for the church here at New United, and I want to introduce the pastor, Pastor Braxton, if you'd come forward and Pastor Braxton is the pastor here at New United, and he had the church has opened their arms up to us, and they've walked every step of the way, man. When we first came here to when we first came to start, just so happens that the pastor and the church had just bought this church, and Pastor John, who runs our outreach, and he also runs our mission mall, got to be friends with Pastor Braxton, and we needed to expand the ladies shelter because we were turning more women away. It was just heartbreaking, and so we looked at this building. We were across the street in the parking lot. We looked at this building, and it was sitting empty. And I told Pastor John, I said, "You know the pastor over there?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "We've done some things together." I said, "Can you get me a meeting?" And God spoke to me and said, "Hey, this is it." And so we got an opportunity to meet with Pastor, and maybe he can share a little bit of that story.
Okay, well, hello everybody. It's just a blessing to be here on this historic day for our church, TGRM, and for Toledo. What this shelter is all about, the community. And so you might have told Pastor John that you needed a meeting with me, but I also told him I needed a meeting with you. We came here in 2014, was praying, asking God to give us a vision for this facility. This is a beautiful facility. It's a gift to the community, and we were blessed that the Methodist Church worked with us to help us enter into this location. And Pastor Neely, just a man of God, came across the street and offered us some breads and just hospitality and love. So we formed an immediate connection. And so the Lord has said to me that this church will not only be for Newunited, that it has to be for the community. So I met with Pastor John over at Rudy's, and I said, why don't you expand your ministry across the street at the outreach, where they were doing Bible studies and doing GED and having AA meetings and feeding people every Saturday. So when I told him, I said, why don't you expand your ministry? He said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, why don't you do the same thing that they do downtown? He said, house people? I said, well, yeah. He said, well, I don't have a room for that. I said, yes, you do. He said, what am I doing? He says, my building doesn't have the space for that. I said, you have the space. He said, no, I don't. I said, yes, you do. He said, no, I don't. I said, cross the street. He said, what do you mean? I said, man, I have 10,000 square feet sitting there empty. And God said it can't stay empty. And he said that we have to give it back to the community. And he said, so what do you want to do? You want to rent? I said, I'm not worried about that, man. I got to pay the note anyway. We need ministry there. And you're connected to ministry because you're part of the Toledo Gospel Rescue Mission. And he said, well, there's Teen Challenge and some other things. I said, man, you do shelters downtown. I said, what about that? He says, well, I'll get you connected to town. So we met, and I met you, and Tom came in, and I said, listen, I'm not gonna take a whole lot of your time, but we're a new church here. We have a building next door, 10,000 square feet. It's empty. God says we have to put ministry in there. We have to give it back to the community. And I said, so maybe, you do shelters, that's your expertise, it's your ministry. Maybe you want to talk about maybe doing something with you, our church, and maybe a third partner, maybe domestic violence, YMCA or something. I said, or maybe you want to just do something with you and then maybe another community partner, okay? Or maybe you just want to do something with you and us. Our church said we don't have a whole lot of finance, but we do have some people that love the Lord. I do have some women ministers and women in general who love God, who love people. And I said, if none of that works, I said, I know you can at least give me some advice, but you can offer me something. And then Tom said, you got your running shoes on? I said, well, I can go home and get them. Now, at my size, I didn't want to go home and get them. That's not why I came to the meeting. I said, running shoes? He said, yeah, let's go next door. Let's look at it. So he walked through here and he went in the room over there and he says, this is 10 by 5. I said, what are you doing? He says, oh, I'm a contractor. I'm looking at rooms. And he looked in the bathroom. He says, okay, knock that out. He says, this the same way upstairs? I said, yes. So let's go upstairs. We got to the second floor. He said, hallelujah. I've been praying for something like this. I said, what do you mean? He says, I'm tired of turning away women and their small children. He said, the hardest thing in the world for me to do is to see a mother with her children go walking down the street in the wintertime with nowhere to go. He says, I've been praying for something like this. And he says, this here, it can work. And he said, I talked years ago with Pastor Neely and told him that we would do ministry in this building, but we had to get the right time in the right church. And I was just like so overwhelmed to see that God had spoken to us, positioned us very strategically here at this location. Pastor Neely now reach across the street, and then have the Toledo Gospel Rescue Mission with the heart and vision to do ministry here. And so it's just been, like you said, a very challenging experience, but it's been a very, very rewarding experience to watch Rebekah Haven go through the various challenges, but yet with God's help and God's hands on this ministry, persevere. And this is as much about anything. This shelter is a story of perseverance. You know, Tom can tell you more detail than I could, maybe in another venue, about the various challenges. In fact, and I don't want to take too much time, but I want to tell the one story. It got so bad, it got so tough one while, I started feeling bad because there was just so much time and so much money and so many people coming in and out of here. And I mean, I've seen Rick here at 9, 10 o'clock at night, covered in dust and rich, man. And I'm coming in with my shoes and jacket. I didn't ever stay long because I felt bad. You know. And I mean, these guys were just putting it in, and I don't know all the other people, and one day I said this. I'm sort of embarrassed because I guess it's probably a lack of faith. But I said, man, this is costing so much money, and there's so many obstacles. The land bank wanted to give a building, you know, and they had, the mission had secured a building over on Monroe Street. I was feeling so guilty about all of this. I said, why don't you just put it somewhere else? I said, it's costing so much money, cost overruns, there's so many obstacles. I said, why don't you put it somewhere else? And Tom said, because that ain't where God said to put it. God said to put it on Phillips. And that corner, that triangle there, there's something special going to happen there. And God's going to provide, and it's going to happen. I'm going to keep beating on doors and keep praying until God brings it to fruition.
Here's the deal.
I said, okay, let's go in.
Here's the deal.
And so here we are. So finally, I love the heart and passion of TGRM. You know, for their men, but this special place for these women and small children. And I just want to say publicly, nothing that I do would be possible if it wasn't for the love and support of my wife, who deals with my very rigorous schedule, fatigue, moodiness, etc., that I bring home after dealing with Tom and shelters and church. And then for New United congregation, that when I cast this vision to them, back, we were in a temporary location when I told them that God gave us a vision of partnerships. We didn't have a church. And I thank all of you, those who are with us now and even those in the past, that prayed and labored to help make this historic day for the community, TGRM, New United, most of all the kingdom It's just a blessed day. Thank you all. God bless.
Good job. Now you wonder why we're here. This is it, right here. And so,
We're gonna open for questions now.
questions from anyone?
Me.
Ma'am?
I just wanted to ask Amber, how many kids do you have?
I have 2 in my custody, and then I have an older one, and her name is Lily.
Okay, and can you just talk a little bit about the circumstances of why you needed a place like this?
I was coming out of a domestic violence relationship.
That was the first time? Okay. And how did you leave the first time? What was the situation?
First time I was staying with family, and it was just a bad situation, and I had to do what's best for my middle one at the time. And then shortly after that, I found out I was pregnant with my third, so I had to do what was best for the family.
Okay, so when you moved in here, you had one child and you were pregnant with a second?
When I first came here the first time, I was my middle one was 10 months old, and the baby is now going on 11 months old. So, yeah.
And when you got to leave here the first time, where did you go?
I ended up going back with the family that I was staying with. My son got really, really sick, so we had to keep him away from a lot of people. So it was a hardship, but I stuck with it, and then I was blessed to be able to come back.
And Jackie, I wonder if you can give more insight on when women leave here. Do they leave with jobs? Do they leave elsewhere? What's the situation?
Through, what was it, the church?
Lutheran Social Services.
They picked her up,
They picked me up.
usually different, people pick them up, or, whatever, what is it called? Getting stage fright. Well, the Lutheran services pick them up, and sometimes it'll be like neighborhood housing. Well, Lutheran picked her up, they housed her, and then that's when the domestic violence happened, so she had to come back to a shelter in order to get the rapid rehousing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, she was helped the first time,
Mm-hmm.
but she ended up with family before she got into the housing.
Right.
Like right before, because they have to go through a process, and then through the Lutheran one, they have to do, like community service too.
Mm-hmm.
So through that, she had to do community service, hold a job, and then she got into that situation and had to leave.
Right. So for the hundreds of women that have come through here and been helped, are
Do they have
they
job-
are they
yes.
leaving with jobs? Like, is
Yes.
it more stable?
Yes, there's NPI, has a few of the girls that they take over there on Arlington, and it's kind of like something like Rebekah's afterwards. The ladies there, they help them through college once they place them. They help them get through college and pay for like, daycare, and then like Christmas time, they'll help them with Christmas, or they help them with their daily needs too, diapers or whatever.
And we also have the Mission Mall
Yes.
to help set up moms with household items and furniture as they are able to leave the shelter.
Yes.
They can actually go, and the community donates household items, pots and pans, cups, dishcloths, all kinds of things, and they're able to go over and get what they need to set up their household when they leave.
And then, and once a week too,
Yes.
before they get housed, like if they need, just say they need an outfit or, for an interview, they can go to Mission Mall,
Mm-hmm.
once a week and get whatever they need. And when they move, like Kelly said, we give them this paper, they fill out like, hey, I need a bed, I need a dresser, or, and then they can go back there and pick out their needs for their home.
We have had ladies leave with their college degree from Rebekah's Haven
Yes,
before.
yes. And we have women right now that are actually going through college,
Mhm.
through the resources that were provided while at Rebekah's.
What about the average stay, the length?
Well, it's usually a 90-day stay, but because of the COVID, the homeless board is behind, they said about a year.
And-
Because
they can
People
stay
they're not
as
able
long
to
as
put
they need.
people out or, because
Mhm.
of COVID, so about a year.
Was that your experience, Amber, that you stayed here 90 days the first time?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Any other questions?
Can anyone just speak to, there's a lot of stereotype ideology about what causes homelessness. And just from the experience of being people where this is your ministry, what are like some of the main stories that you hear that led to a mother and her children? We heard your story, of course, and thanks for sharing. But what are some of the other causes that cause mothers and children to be homeless?
The parent, usually a single mother, she'll be fired, lose her job. So she don't have family that she could go to. Drug addiction or coming out of, being on the streets. It's a lot of different things. It's really heartbreaking, the mothers, they come in, and they really want the help and the love. They grew up with no construction, no stability or structure. So when they come to Rebekah's, we try to teach them the basics. Because it's hard when you grow up in a dysfunctional home. I myself was. So, growing up and learning on your own, it makes you open your eyes, like, you know the struggle. So I've come a long ways myself, so my heart is really for these ladies. Because I grew up myself with a single mother. She constantly was working, and then when she wasn't working, she wasn't home, so I was the mother to my siblings, and I took care of them. And then we used to take in children and neighborhood kids in our own house. Once I turned 18, we always had big houses and brought the kids in, the parents that didn't take care of them. So that's always been my passion, helping people.
Anyone else? Okay, so this part of the grand opening is finished. We're going to actually head outside to the front, if you guys want to funnel out there, and I'm going to take the folks online for a virtual tour. And once I'm done with the virtual tour, then we'll have the ribbon cutting ceremony and pray over the building and dedicate the building. So thank you.
Is there a way that we could have Amber come with us on the tour to get some photos of her, like in the rooms, rather than just...
Can we do that after the ceremony? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, because I'm just going to do a virtual tour. Right? So hello, everybody. You just got done with Jackie talk about the Rebekah and what we have going on. So now I'm going to take you on a tour of one of the floors of the building, so you can get an idea of what the ladies have available to them here at Rebekah's Haven. So as we come out the chapel area here, you'll see that we're in the main hallway, and this is one of our kitchenettes where moms can come and cook for their kids and actually make meals together. And we have all of the amenities to be able to do that. Located within the building is also a large kitchen, so we are able to have groups come in if they wish to cook and provide for the mothers here for special meals. So as you walk further down the hallway, you'll see we're entering into one of the very large family bathrooms here. This tile was actually donated to the Rebekah's Haven from the Toledo Zoo. So we are very thankful for the Toledo Zoo for their investment in the community. They do more than just take care of animals. They actually are helping people as well. And so you'll see we have a large shower that can just be walked into. And then lots of space for moms and kids as they take care of their needs in here. As we walk back out, we're going to head up the back stairs here. And we're going to tour the second floor. There's 3 floors, as Pastor Braxton was saying in his speech. There's 3 floors to the new Rebekah's Haven facility. As we walk onto this floor, you'll see that each room is decorated differently. Each bed has a bear for the child that may sleep in it, or some sort of stuffed animal for the child that sleeps in it. All of these rooms were sponsored by a group and decorated in neutral tones in order to help families to relax, less like an institution. Each room can house mom and a child, or mom and two children. Here's the second floor bathroom, same as well. We wanted to make sure that this felt more like home and less like a homeless shelter. These children have been traumatized enough having gone homeless. We wanted to make sure that each child felt safe, secure, and comfortable. As you can see, the church, groups, and businesses and individuals who sponsored these rooms just did a fabulous job of making them beautiful and practical. There's a lot of concrete in this building, and so unfortunately my feed may be cutting in and out. I apologize if that's the case. And so now I'm going to head back downstairs where we're going to have the ribbon cutting ceremony outside. And it looks like the sun has decided to cooperate with us so that we can have a beautiful moment. It's as if the sun came out just for this moment.
I was gonna say put some tissue up there.
Okay, all right.
So they're very comfortable.
So if I can have Jackie, Pastor Braxton, and any board members.
I'm sorry.
There we go. Okay, we're back up. Okay, so whenever you're ready.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
Pray for us. Father God, never we lift you up, God, because this is the work of your hands. You put your hands upon Toledo Gospel Rescue Mission, Rebekah's Haven, every partner, every laborer, God. You had your hands upon the people that you sent to make this day possible. We ask now that you keep your hands upon the shelter, keep your hand upon Toledo Gospel Rescue Mission and all of the leaders and volunteers and staff there. We ask God to keep your hands upon New United and any partner that will partake in this shelter that's here for small women and their small children. We ask that you just bless this ministry, bless this shelter. Amen.
Woo! Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Thanks for coming out, guys.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you for all you do for Rebekah's Haven and for Toledo Gospel Rescue Mission. We wouldn't be here without you, and we thank you for loving the community.